Everyone, thank you for joining Sandra P's Gen Extra. Good morning, everyone. Thank you so much for joining Sandra P's Gen Extra. I hope everyone is enjoying this holiday week. We are still amidst Kwanzaa season, of course, as we know, which has the seven principles. It starts for a reference point the day after Christmas. So I am enjoying today because today is a day where I don't have to do anything because today is my birthday. So thank you so much for joining Sandra P's Gen Extra. I hope everyone is enjoying the season, relaxing if that's what they choose to do. Some people like to run around and get a lot done. And if you are one of those people, I love that for you. I am having a day where I don't have anything to do but just relax and do what I want to do. I just kind of have things in my mind that I'm getting prepared for. The one thing is actually, I'm excited about being able to go on another cruise. I leave Saturday morning and it is sailing out of Galveston. I'm looking forward to that. It's on the Carnival Breeze. I've sailed out of Galveston before, but I've never been on the Carnival Breeze. So this is almost a destination in and of itself for me because I've lucked into a spa room. I trusted getting an interior guarantee. That can be a risky bet, but I've never really had a bad room. I think years ago we had one near a photo studio or where some kind of development was going on and there was kind of an odor. But other than that, even when I have interior guarantee rooms, I've never had a bad room. So I fully expect that to be the case. Welcome, Sharon Gobble. Thank you for coming in during my live. I appreciate you coming in during the live. Good morning, Sandra P's Gen Extra and Chat. Thank you so much. This is just an impromptu live. Welcome in, dear Yvette. Thank you so much for coming in during the live. I was just speaking about me getting ready for the cruise that I'm going on. It is the one that Queen Sheba is, I'm not sure how they call it, hosting or whatever that is. Anyway, I found out about it through her. I cruise a lot, but she started cruising as far as a group. I know she is a avid cruiser as well. But this is the second time she's sponsoring a group. My first time going. So I have my own cabin. I am excited to be on the Carnival Breeze. And I was mentioning that I generally don't really care about rooms. I don't mind having an interior, but I booked interior guarantee, which they choose the room. And I lucked into a cabin room. So that, I mean, not a cabin, but a spa room, interior on the spa. It's the 10th deck, Lido deck. So I'm excited about that. I'm looking forward to it. Thank you so much. I need to relax. I think it is going to be fun. I'll get to go live a couple times and tour this ship because I've never been on this ship before, especially the spa. And also today is my birthday. I'm a Capricorn. It is December 30th. So it's Capricorn season. My niece was the 28th. And then my sister, one of my older sisters, is tomorrow. So she's a Capricorn as well. So I'm excited about not being able to do anything today, not having to work or do anything. I haven't worked on my birthday in years. I had a company years ago that started, your birthday was kind of a holiday. Within 2 weeks of your birthday or that day, you would get a paid day. And so starting from years ago, that's one of the great things they did. I have never worked on my birthday. Thank you, dear Yvette. I appreciate that. Thank you so much. So this is just, I think I labeled it Sandra P's Gen Extras. So there's a bunch of extras. Thank you, Sharon Gobble, that are going on in the Bravo streets, the YouTube streets. So I wanted to start with one that was kind of fun because we had already been talking about it. For some reason, the Real Housewives go on kind of like a bye week during the Christmas holiday season, and they don't show any new episodes. So we didn't have any Married to Medicine Sunday night. We didn't have Real Housewives of Potomac because I would have gone live yesterday to cover those. So we don't have any lives. But we do have a bunch of news because we know there's a bunch of interviews and things like that that go on anyway. And one of the things that we had going on was Charisse. Charisse went over an interview with Carlos King. Carlos, of course, loves to interview anybody that has anything to do with Bravo. I think he wants to get back over there in the worst way. I really do. So what he was talking to Charisse about, everything related to her show, and that is her show because she's still over there. She's still on there. She doesn't hold a flute, but she's invited to all the events, and we do get to see a lot of things through Sharice's eyes, which I like because she's not holding a flute, so she can kind of give us her real impression of what went on between Ashley and her son Jackson. Now, those of you that watched my initial review, I called it out at the time. I thought it was really disgusting at the time. All right, here I found what she's talking about it. This might be too low, y'all. I'm trying to find it. Don't be naive, Does Robin think it's true? Well, of course she does. What about Giselle? Have you spoken to Giselle about this? She probably talked to Giselle. That's where Robin would know her information about. Okay. Because it's coming from Giselle don't mean it's necessarily true either, because her and Ashley sit in the laboratory and create stories for everybody except themselves. Really. Okay, that was too mush mouth, so I'll turn that off. But what basically, I don't watch Carlos. I watch a lot of his clips, and when people cover it, I do watch that. But Sharice is now upset about the fact that Ashley Bobblehead Darby, I feel like it's going around bragging about the fact that she kissed Jackson. I don't like the way she framed it. Y'all know when we talked about her like a dog at the time. She framed it as, I get a little tipsy, from those Corona that she opens with her teeth and gets drunk. But you can't tell she's drunk because she has a very high tolerance. Well, she is claiming at one of the events, she was tipsy. Jackson had to drive her home. Jackson had to escort her up the stairs. Jackson came into the home and ended up, she says, leaning in for a kiss and that she kissed him. And then she kind of told Sharice, well, would you be okay if it didn't stop there? So we knew that something else had happened. So Ashley, being the big liar that she is, she pretended it was just he leaned in and kissed her. I don't believe that. I think she made moves on him because we know how predatory and weird she is, allegedly, and in my opinion. I got to find a banner for this, y'all, because I'm going to talk about Ashley like a dog. So then she went over on Watch What Happens Live, spoke to Andy Cohen about the same situation, and she's still laughing about it and saying now she's expanded it and telling more of the truth about what happened. I really was afraid that they were going to catch me on her security camera. So she was going to Sharice's house. Andy Cohen said, oh, he was living with Sharice at the time. She said he just moved back in. So y'all, Jackson, and we'll preface this with saying he was 27 at the time. Ashley is about 10 years, a little more older than him, but she has known him since he was a teen. She has known him since she was married to Michael Darby, and she has been a peer and a friend of Sharice during that time frame. So all of that to me factors in because I can't see any of Sharice's other friends doing what Ashley has done. Let me read David's comment. Yes, he does. His set look like Andy's, LOL. CK needs to just give it up. He'll never get back over there. And he picked a Bravo cast member to be reality queen, not even from one of his shows. Sad. Yeah, he's terrible. You remember when he had a reality queen? There was an independent outlet that named Melody Cherie reality TV queen, and he was kind of excited that it was one of his show, but he wasn't really happy that it was Melody. He had some kind of weird thing with her. I think jealousy over the fact that she was willing to branch out and do other things. I also think because he couldn't control her, because it came out later, he wanted to be her manager. He wanted to manage a lot of other people on his shows. So he is always sniffing around Bravo. And I'm like you, David, I don't think he'll ever be back over there. The rumor has it, and it's been in the streets for years, that Carlos was instrumental in that whole Candy, Dungeon, Portia, Phaedra lie that was told and was broken out. I think it was season 9 during that reunion. That was a mess. I heard that a lot of us have heard, he was the producer that was instrumental in telling that lie, because Phaedra was like, well, somebody told me and I just repeated it. So he says that wasn't him. He also says he wasn't fired. I believe him to be a liar. Sharice is not happy about that. Sharon Gobble, I don't think she is either. Honestly, I thought her reaction when Ashley told her was kind of strange, because even when she brought Jackson in, she came in first in her lingerie and her cowboy stuff. Stacey had a problem with that. That was all pretty funny and innocent. But then when Jackson came in and Sharice was like, here's Ashley, it's kind of like a joke, maybe like she had a crush on him or he had a crush on her, but like, here's Ashley. But I don't think Sharice knew what had actually happened. And like I said, Ashley Darby is a liar. She's been a liar. She's predatory. She acts more like Michael Darby than people realize. She acts like an old white man. She's very, very predatory, in my opinion, from what I've watched of her over the years. And this season, y'all saw her licking on Jazzy at her event that she had down when they were down. Were they in Nevis? Yeah, during the bachelorette party. I thought that was disgusting. And then doing the same thing to Kierna. You could push up on me if you want to. When she was dressed as Ash Top, she was trying to get her feels in on Kierna. I just thought that was terrible. So yeah, Sharice is not happy now. And some of the stuff she was saying about Giselle and Ashley love to get together and create storylines for everybody but themselves. So I wonder how Bravo will feel about that, because we've been saying that for years. Giselle doesn't, I'm not going to say she doesn't have anything going on. Giselle has a lot going on, but she doesn't choose to share anything with the audience. And that's okay, but don't be on a reality show. Go do something else. Because if you're not going to share, what are you here for other than talking about other people, lying on their husbands, lying on Monique's baby. And now Monique back over there trying to be friends with all of them. You don't do that to a friend. I agree. I don't care if he's 27 or not now. He was 15 or 16 when she first met him. I think Carlos brought that up first. I wish I could find the actual interview to show more of what they were talking about. Yeah, he was. And then Sharon says, Ashley is trash. She is trash, and she's been trash, and she's not even fun with it anymore. Used to be back in the day when she would go back and forth with Candace, even when she would go back and forth with Robin. When she first started pulling up Robin, she Googled Robin and found out Robin had $5 or whatever. And there was an underlying story to that that really wasn't funny. The way that Robin lost Juan's money to one of their friends, and then that friend ended up deleting himself. See, Ashley, when you play like that, when you kind of pull a string on somebody, you don't really know what the underlying story is, and you can cause a whole lot of problems. But they think Ashley is funny. She's cute. She's not. She's predatory. She's a liar. She's terrible. David says Sharice knew, but it didn't go as planned. Too much backlash. That's what I'm thinking too, David. I feel like when Sharice, I don't think she ever really loved it, but she was, I guess, was going to go along like, oh, this is so cute. Maybe I'll get back on the show. She's already on the show. She just doesn't have a flute. But we see Sharice as much as we see almost anybody. So I thought her reaction was kind of strange. I believe this reaction a little more, the fact that she is upset about it, because to me, that makes more sense. You see Wendy at the table was like, don't kiss my kids, which I agree with that, because Wendy has kids that are teens. They're young teens, the same age that Jackson was when Ashley Darby met him. These people that are saying, oh, he a grown man, he don't need his mommy permission. I saw that on Threads this morning. He's 27. He wasn't 27 when they met. She was married to Michael Darby when they met, and she's trying to lie and claim that he pulled in for a kiss on her. I don't think that. I think that Jackson clearly is raised better than her, better than Sheila raised her under the bridge. Welcome, CC. Thank you so much for coming in. I appreciate that. And Cece is speaking to everyone, myself, Sharon, dear Yvette, and chat. Anyone else in the bushes, thank you so much for coming in. Thank you, Cece. Please like and subscribe. I appreciate that. That would be a great birthday present for me. Those of you who came in just now, Cece, today is my birthday, so I'm celebrating not having to do anything. It is Capricorn season. We celebrated one of my niece's birthday a couple of days ago, and then my sister, I have an older sister who is tomorrow. So she's December 31st. That's a family story. My father thought that she could be the first baby born in Yonkers for that year, and you get free diapers and milk. But she came earlier in the evening on December 31st. So she was not the first baby in Yonkers that year. Well, like a New Year's baby. You know how they do. So that's pretty funny. But yeah, Sharice, I don't know. I wish Sharice had acted how she really felt. I don't think she ever liked it, but she had to see the fans kind of saying, oh, this is disgusting, and dragging Ashley before she said something about it. So I don't know. We'll see. We'll see what's going to happen with that. So that was one of the extras that's going on. Let's see. Another extra that we have is Real Housewives related, but we'll move from Potomac now over to Real Housewives of Atlanta. I don't know those of you that have seen it already, and I think you have, because there's quite a few coverage that's out there on it. This was Shamia and Portia. people were saying, I think I found it on Neighborhood Talk. I hope Shamia and Portia, allegedly, because of course they didn't film it yet, she has had some type of an altercation with Portia where they almost came to blows. No Chaser TV is where I saw it. If you're not subscribed over there, I just love Chase. He is so cute and so funny. I didn't get to see him at BravoCon, but he is amazing. No Chaser TV. And okay, he's quoting the Neighborhood Talk. I couldn't find the Neighborhood Talk, but that they are saying that in Scotland, the cast trip is in Scotland this year, which is kind of a bizarre destination, but I think they brought the rest of the peaches over there to where, this is just all speculation on my part, to where Portia was filming for Traders. So that's where they had the cast trip. Siri, where does Traders film? Let me see if they will tell me that. I thought it was, oh no, they're telling me something else. But I feel like it is Scotland. They said it as Traders, as if trades. I'm sorry, I just want to check this out real quick before I even start talking about it. Traders US. So now I wonder if that is actually true. I believe, because I'm hearing it from a lot of different places. So their cast trip, that's kind of random, unless Portia was over there filming for Traders. Now, we got to watch Shamia's first season as a peach is not, as we all know, her first season, because she has been on and off for years, a better part of a decade, as Portia's friend, as Candy's friend. Her behavior was kind of strange. You know, I like to protect the first season housewives, first season arrivals to the different shows. It's hard for me to do that with Shamia. It's really hard to defend Shamia, because to me, her behavior is so strange. I don't know. She just seems really, really thirsty, and that she really loves the attention that she gets, not just from being on the show, but from being affiliated with the show and formerly a friend of Portia's, because I don't think they're friends anymore. I don't think that they're. Thank you, Cece. Cece watches Traders as well and confirm. Scotland, dear Yvette knew it too. Okay, I can't wait till that comes on, y'all. That is going to be January. We're going to be covering that right here, because I watch Traders and I enjoy it a lot. And of course, I love seeing what the housewives do on there. I don't like the trend they have of trying to get them out first because they think, oh, one of them has to be a trader. I think that's a lazy way to play the game. But they had Dorinda Medley out first last season. They brought her back. So NBC Universal was like, no, we need to see more Dorinda. They brought her back. So this year, the housewives that we'll have Dorinda again, Lisa Rinna, who is a villain. I can't stand Lisa Rinna, y'all. But I'm looking forward to seeing her on Traders. We are having Portia, of course, Portia Williams. I think Portia gonna play dumb. And Cynthia said, you ain't that stupid. I agree with Cynthia. I don't think she's that stupid. I think Portia is undercover, kind of knows more than she lets on. So I don't know if Portia will be a traitor or a faithful. I could see her doing either one and doing either one well. I really could. So I'm curious about that. And then Candace, y'all. Candace, I hope Candace can lay a little bit low, because that mouth, when people see how smart she is and she's yakking, I just hope she's not the first one out. So, okay, this goes back to my point. We have dear Yvette, CC, confirmed. Yes, they do film in Scotland. Because I thought, Scotland, why are the peaches having a trip in Scotland? Usually it'll be somewhere in the Caribbean, or one year they go to Europe, they'll go to Barcelona, somewhere in Italy. It said Scotland. So they brought the peaches over there because Portia's already there, and it's convenient, I guess, for NBC Universal to pay that money and then pay for their cash trip. But these two ladies gotten into it to a point where they almost throwing bows at each other. So I think Shamia is one of those single Black female type friends, allegedly. And in my opinion, I don't know. I hope that's not what's going on with Shamia. Shamia, you got enough going on yourself to be over here fighting this lady because she no longer wants to be your friend. And Portia needs to keep her hands off people if that is indeed what's going on. She should have remained a friend of. I'm one of the ones, I didn't think that at first. I was so excited for her peach Sharon Gobble. So many people was like, no, she should stay friend of. And those people were right. I hate to say, those people were right. Because Shamia is just, she's kind of been a bust so far. I'm glad they brought her back because I don't like one season wonders. I think season one is hard even though it's not really her first season because she's been there on the show and around the show for years. But I could see you saying should have remained a friend of, because this is not really good. Edinburgh, Scotland is on my travel list. The Black Scottish CC Glow Up this year was on eye opener, good and bad. Also, I think I saw some of that, Edinburgh, Scotland. I'm familiar with them, not just from Traders, but I do like how the men have the kilts and all that stuff. They have a lot of history and culture. Is that where Balmoral is? I feel like Balmoral. That is where, you remember that movie, The Queen, with, of course, based on the Queen of England. It was Helen Mirren. And when they vacation, they have a castle in Scotland. She drives her own little Land Rover around, one of the originals, on their property. And it was a really good scene where Queen was out driving and she saw this beautiful, not a deer, but the one with the antlers. And it just like, it struck her because it was so beautiful. She was out by herself. She went back to the castle. They had a visit later, and one of the neighbors ended up shooting the animal. And he had come to apologize. He didn't know that it was on the royal family's property. I don't know how he didn't know that, but he came to apologize. She asked if she could see the carcass, and he allowed her to. And she allowed him to keep the carcass because he was a gamer. They keep the head and get it stuffed and stuff. But yeah, that whole area, Balmoral. So they own all of that. Was the biggest landowner in the world. Didn't that tell you how people go out and abroad and colonize and steal? So Sharon is saying Portia plays dumb. Laughing. I think she is playing dumb. I do. I think she's playing dumb. You remember Cynthia had to kick her dead between the legs when Portia was standing over Cynthia, yelling at her, and Cynthia got upset. Portia called her a bee, but it wasn't really a fight. They just started kind of tussling, and Cynthia kicked her dead between the legs. And then they did a confessional with Sheree. Sheree talked about Cynthia got some long A legs. I thought that was so funny. And Shamia was in that scene, y'all. Kenya was hosting. It actually was on the lake that everything happens at, Lake Lanier. I would not go on Lake Lanier. But just the spirits, when you go on Lake Lanier, there's a problem. They started arguing, fighting. And Kenya asked the captain to kick Portia and Shamia off the boat. And Shamia was just twerking and arguing and on Portia's side and all of that. Cece confirmed, yes, Balmoral Castle is in Scotland. Okay, so that's why I'm familiar with it. An Antelope, yes. That was a good movie. I'm going to have to watch that again. But anyway, Shamia is over there acting up. Now, I don't even know who's responsible yet. I know Portia has a history of putting hands and feet and a scepter on people if she needs to. But I feel like this may not be her fault just because we saw how Shamia moved with her in her first official season with a peach. But again, they almost came to blows. What they are saying in the neighborhood talk, and also Chase from No Chaser TV is saying that it was broken up by little old Drew Sidora. So Drew, I wouldn't have been in the middle of that. I guess Drew didn't want anybody saying that she won't step in on anybody's side. Y'all saw the way Angela had defended her first season, Angela Oakley. And then when it was time for somebody to step in and defend Angela, Drew was singing spirituals and saying, I'm going to protect my peace, and physically went into another room and would not defend Angela Oakley. That was a mess. Kelly piping up. What about that baby though? That was a mess. So Portia and Shamia are still at odds. We'll see what's going to happen. I don't know. It just seems like, I don't know if it's for the show. I don't know. I know these two, I feel like, have a real problem with each other. I think a big part of it is Shamia accepting that peach. If I were her, honestly, I would have stayed friend up. Jerry Beth says, I'm surprised that Portia having that relationship around her daughter. I hope she's not being gay for pay. That's disgusting. Yeah, Vet, I can see if she's at a stage in her life where she's like, maybe she's always had those feelings. And over the years, she has said some questionable things as far as when she was up on Candy that time in the club. I won't repeat what Candy said, because Candy's a trip. Candy tried to act so innocent and then she wouldn't say this and wouldn't say that. But when Candy repeated what Portia said, I was like, what? That was shocking. And Ty confirmed, yeah, she did say that. And I believe it. So Portia, sometimes when she gets a little bit drunk, sometimes she starts trying to act a little bit gay. But I don't know, again, I'll quote Cynthia, I don't know how much of it is an act. but I hope it's not just for pay and for her daughter, meaning storyline. Because this girl, I've seen them in pictures, they're kind of like a Ty. She's kind of a Ty 2.0. You know, Ty, that all the reality ladies start dating. She's been over there on Basketball Wives dating people. Her name came up between Drew and Ralph. So I don't know what's going on with that, with Ty. But Shamia, all the coverage should have been, her husband gave her another new car this Christmas. This is her own, well, that, I follow her. This is on someone else's page, Chatterbox. It's a red Bentley. So they didn't have a big party for it this year. Let me take down the comment real quick, Yvette, so we can see that. So there's Shamia. She got another Bentley from Gerald. She didn't twerk on this one, I guess, because the kids were there. In her Christmas pajamas, the little baby, Shia and Shiloh. So that's Chatterbox that put that up. But Shamia was the one that actually, she had that on her IG. And I looked at that, and then I started hearing the stories of this possible fight between her and Portia. But dear Yvette, yeah, I'm curious. I want to see where that Ty 2.0 storyline goes with Portia. I don't know. They're taking couples pictures together and all this kind of stuff. And she played it up really big at BravoCon. She just treated it like it was something, you know, matter of fact, but it took her by surprise. I don't feel like that could take her by surprise. If you go from preaching fire and brimstone, you remember Portia used to preach. Portia could hoof too. Preaching fire and brimstone against gay relationships to now here she is supposedly in one. I don't know. And I'm curious to see if Ty 2.0 is going to make an appearance on season 17. We'll see. I'm curious. David says, what? Cece, I couldn't imagine feeling the need to show my family private moments online. Yeah, Cece, that is something that is almost like a, I guess it's a new thing. Rather than just how we used to take pictures and put it in a family photo album, now it's for public consumption. The only downside to that is that when you give the public the ability to speak about it and have an opinion on it, then you can't really get mad if they have an opinion that you don't like. And you'll see a lot of people do that. They'll share something that they think is funny or cute, or now people are going to think good about me, and then the next thing you know, it doesn't go the way they want to, and they're private in comments, and they're saying stuff like, please protect me in my hour of privacy. And it's like, no, you're the one that started sharing all your business, and now you don't like how it's coming out. Like Clarissa. Y'all, I think this is terrible what's going on with Clarissa. And Remy. Remy's not really doing anything. Remy's not really speaking anything about it. But Clarissa can't keep her mouth off of Papoose and Remy. I think Papoose needs to do something to kind of rein that in. I don't see that going in a good direction, y'all. I'm not a person that piles on to Clarissa. I feel kind of sorry for her, what's going on. I feel like she should try to, if she still wants to box, get back to that, because this social media thing, this is not going well for her. She's not liked enough, honestly, to be out there doing all that. So I don't know. I hope she has someone in her corner that really likes her and can tell her, Clarissa, let's get back to boxing. Because I've never heard anything about Papoose having any type sports background, boxing background. What is he doing with Win other than promoting his own records? And I think he's claiming there's some type of fight contract or $8 million that's allegedly out there if she starts fighting. But I don't honestly see anything positive that's happened to her, for her, with that relationship. It's all him. I'm with Cece. I think Clarissa is mentally deficient and hard-headed. Isn't that a terrible, scary combination? I always thought she was a little bit slow, and I think it honestly happened before the boxing, before getting hit in the head. I think she was a little bit delayed. I think her whole family situation is not a great one. I never got to see her movie. I will, because I heard that it's really good. But nobody's talked about her movie, none of the stuff, because she just distracts everybody with all this sideways stuff that she does. And then she was alone for Christmas. Did y'all see her with the tree and those little gifts and stuff? I feel badly for her. So I do think she is mentally deficient, and that she is hard-headed as well, because she asks people for advice. This is her MO, her modus operandi. She will ask, this is smart. If you believe that someone has something you want, or you feel like I could learn from them, she will reach out to people and ask for advice. But where she goes wrong is that she fixates on them. She tries to, I think, destiny swap with them, where she almost tries to be what they are or have what they have. Did that with Layla, did that with Remy. I didn't know that she was in Remy's DMs and all this kind of stuff. I think How I See It TV, she's a creator. She was one of the first ones that disclosed that. And I was like, oh, wow. I can't remember if she did the rundown on IG, because I follow her on IG and also on YouTube. But evidently, Clarissa saw something she admired in Remy, got in her DMs years ago, like around Corona time, like 2020, was in her DMs. And the next thing you know, she pops out with Papoose after him and Remy started having issues. So that's kind of scary. Of course, with Layla Ali being the biggest name that we heard of that happening with. So that was kind of crazy. I don't think she has any of her original trainers and the people around her that brought her to the Olympics and then were trying to encourage her career afterward. I don't think those people are around. Even when she was shopping, she's shopping at the Louis Vuitton store and popping all that money. She was alone. So that's sad. David says, right. She had a little crazy in her eyes. Remy doing it right. You can't argue alone. That's right. Sometimes you just got to leave people alone. If they let them feel however they feel. And this is one, I think she could end up on Snap, y'all, or For My Man. This could end not well at all. So I'm a little concerned for her and what's going on with her. It's a little sad, honestly. A little bit of crazy in her eyes. I'll agree with that. So let's see. We have covered the Real Housewives of Potomac information that came out with Ashley Jackson and now Sharice's new reaction. And then also the Real Housewives of Atlanta. Shamia and Portia allegedly throwing hands. And the two of them, y'all, speaking of Ty 2.0, of course, the rumors that've been around about Portia for years, her and Shamia got a lot more going on. Like they were doing what they call it on Salt Lake City, Barbie scissor kicks. There's a lot more. You could break up with a friend and not have it be down and dirty. Like, why do you want to fight the girl? Almost like they still have a crush on each other or something. Something's going on. Sharon Gabo says she's going to really crush out when Papoose leaves her, and he will once he drains her dry. Yes, Sharon Gabo, he seems like one of those types. Remy said that when he was her manager, she, of course, was paying all the bills, and then the manager takes somewhere of 10 to 20%. I think she said that he was getting 20%. The husband seemed to get a lot more. Like Kendu Isaacs was taking 20% off Mary and still cheating, and the woman paying all the bills and getting them in debt. So that's what Remy was going through with Papoose. So now Papoose has another golden goose in Clarissa Shields. He's draining this girl. She's not even 30 yet. And when I saw that picture of her on the Breakfast Club, they did the still of when they were asking him about Remy, wanting him and Remy to fix this. That was envy. And Clarissa was back there like a storm cloud on her face with that little fur hat on that Remy used to wear. Remy stopped wearing those hats because everything she does, here come Clarissa doing the same thing. She looks so sad. I felt sorry to see her looking like that. But I don't think she's gonna lay down quietly. I think she might put hands and feet on Papoose. He better stay away from her. Once he drains her dry, he better stay well away from her, because she seems like the type that could literally hurt somebody. And when I saw him Christmas with his family and everybody with smiles on their face, he was surrounded by people. She was alone. And I felt like, well, why couldn't she go over there with them? He didn't want her over there. She's a problem. So Dave Red says, right, Portia and Shamia have some deep down secrets. They do. What do they say, that you know where the bodies are buried? I think each one of them know where the bodies are buried on each other. And then we find out that Miss Diane, Portia's mother, and then Shamia's mom, I can't remember her name, they have some type of issue. They claim it's daycare issue. A lot of us think it's some type man issue because it is deep-seated and deep-rooted. So I think that's going to be a big part of season 17. I don't know. I don't think it's just storyline. It could be, because we know that cast is not above storyline, but because it happened also in season 16, it's been happening off of our TVs. I'm just curious to see what's going to happen. Did you watch The Breakfast Club? It was interesting. I did not, dear Vet. I just watched a lot of the clips of it, and especially the ones where I found out it was his interview, which made sense because he was front and center. I've always known him as a rapper, and then, of course, as Remy's manager, and then, of course, the whole Black Love thing. Her sitting in the back, I knew it wasn't her interview. So I found it interesting that she always found some kind of way to jump in and start talking. And then when she started bragging on herself, he popped in and started speaking about his record that he has coming out and the brother managing it and this sort of thing. I didn't blame him for that because she really, yeah, okay, you confirm it. It was his interview. She took over. Yeah, I think that might be why he might have pushed her aside for Christmas. So he was trying to show her real time what do the lonely do at Christmas because she was over there. I felt a little sorry for her. And then, like Cece mentioned earlier, what makes people want to go online and show everybody? She wasn't flexing. Nobody envied. Oh, I wish I could be doing what Clarissa do over there. You know, spending whatever. Maybe some people do wish they could spend 70 or 80,000 in a Louis Vuitton store. Okay, but to me, all that stuff she was buying, it looks like Remy type stuff. But from she doesn't even have the things that she wants herself because I don't really know what her style is or what she would want. I just see her trying to be a Remy 2.0, which he's already been there. But well, he would go back to Remy, I think, if Remy would have him. And we don't know if that's over yet or not. We know Remy's had the papers served. He has not signed them, so that's still a marriage. Even during the interview, I did see the parts where she was saying, this takes a long time. We've been together almost a year. And then if you go to September of next year, it'll be a year and a half. Her math was crazy. Her math was some kind of school kid type math that doesn't really know how to do math yet. It was a little bit sad. David is laughing. Yeah, that was a kind of a sad Christmas. I don't like to see people sad or alone at Christmas. Hi, Elisa Triplet. Welcome in. Thank you so much for coming in during the live. We were talking about started out talking about Bravo and then branched off into now we're talking about poor Clarissa Shields over there shopping by herself on Christmas and trying to make people jealous and standing around that tree. And the Breakfast Club interview. Clarissa's going to end up broke buying high-priced trash. At least put Black brands onto the people. Yeah, get you a Telfar bag or something like that. It's crazy. Cece is one of the moderators. She's the only moderator in here, so I appreciate you a lot. Also, when you speak to people as they come in, thank you so much for that. That really means a lot. When people come in during a live, it drives up engagement. It helps the algorithm. So like the video, subscribe. I would appreciate that. That would be a great birthday present for me. And does anybody else have any plans for this, the rest of the season? Chat, Bush Campers, we love you as well. Bush Campers, we do. Please like the live and subscribe. Yeah, the Bush Dwellers, is anybody still at work this week? I would have been, but I don't like to work during my birthday. I started that years ago. One of our companies gave us paid time off for our birthday. I took advantage of it and have been doing it ever since. So I don't intend to work on my birthday anymore. So let's see. So far, we have covered Bravo. We've covered Peacock because we talked about traders. So this alleged fight that happened between, almost fight, we'll say, Portia and Shamia took place in Scotland. That is where the traders film. And the ladies evidently flew over there for their cash trip. And now these two have gotten into it. David, you are still at work? Some people just, I don't know why they don't. I would like it if most of the country was shut down kind of during holiday season. I don't know if they would choose the week of Christmas because we have a lot of holidays that go on between then. Christmas, Kwanzaa, Hanukkah is that week before that. And then later on the first week in January, I think we have Ramadan starts, all this different stuff starts. Diwali. Cece is my kind of girl right here. I've been off since last Tuesday, going back next Tuesday. That's right. This is a good time of year to kind of just take your break. I haven't done too much shopping. I got the children in the family, like little things. And then there was a gift that I saw that I had to get for someone. And the person said, oh, I cried. She said, you were so intentional with it. So that made me feel good that she liked it. But I told everyone, I'm not getting gifts. The kids are going to get something and that's about it. Lisa Triplet's working too. Okay. I hope y'all know how to kind of quiet quit and not do too much at the job today other than what's necessary. Welcome in, Linda Gamble. This is the moderator extraordinaire. Welcome. Thank you so much for coming in during the live. We were covering quite a bit of things with Peacock traders, also talking about Bravo TV's Real Housewives. Potomac, so we had Sharice over there on Carlos Kang. She's finally decided to be upset that Ashley is over there kissing on Jackson, amongst other things. And then I didn't like that she lied on Jackson that he pushed up on her. I don't believe it. Elisa speaking to Linda, also CC. Hi, Auntie Linda Gamble. Yes, thank you so much for coming in during the live, Linda. So there's a lot going on during this season. So if you are at work, I'll probably work another day or so before I leave for my cruise. So again, if you're going on Queen Sheba's cruise, I will see you there, but I won't be there early if they do any events before that, but I'll certainly see you on the ship. And I look forward to meeting some of the people in person that is going to be there. And let's see, other than that, there's not too much more that is going on right now. And then we've been watching Clarissa kind of crash out in slow motion in public, and I've been feeling a little sorry to see her doing that. Linda spoke back to CC. Hello, CC, my niece. Linda has been watching the replay of Traders. Yes, we talked about it's coming up in January. So this is going to be Traders US season 4. And the housewives that they had to bring old Dorinda back because they got her out first. So the trick has been, of course, they try to target the housewives as a lazy way to get out of Trader first. But this time we're going to have Dorinda returning, Portia Williams. I have my eye on her because I think she plays dumb enough and she's likable enough to be under the radar. So she could go far, whether she's a traitor or a faithful. We have Candace, formerly of Real Housewives of Potomac, and we have Lisa Rinna, formerly of Beverly Hills, but Lisa Rinna is a villain for real. She's very smart. She's very ruthless. And I don't know if they will make her a traitor because to me, she would be an obvious traitor. So we'll see what's going to happen with that. So that's smart to watch some of the replay just to see kind of how the game goes and all of that. One thing I don't like some of the spooky games that they have. Of course, they're in Scotland. Cece confirmed they're Edinburgh, Scotland. So they do a lot of stuff outside. They have a lot of running and jumping and kind of spooky type stuff where they'll have not vampires, but just the occult type stuff, which is it makes me a little bit nervous, especially being out there like that. I don't know if I would love that, but I do like watching it. Linda says, I never liked Lisa Rinna since Melrose Place. Yeah, she's been a mess for a long time. She's terrible. Chat, rewatching the live and hitting the hype button helps the channel. Thank you, CC. I appreciate that. Yes, hype is kind of a newer feature that they have, and it can help a lot of the small creators. I saw a bump up in my subscribers. I'm still at a goal of 1,000. I'm not there yet. I'm a few hundred away. But when I went down to Melody Cherie's Winter Wonderland, I saw a pretty good bump because I had some videos that you couldn't get just anywhere. So I'm really excited about that. But yes, what CC is saying, when you are in the chat, or even if you're not, if you rewatch the lives, let them play through. I appreciate that. If the hype feature is offered, because I heard it's not offered on all videos, if you hype that does help the channel. So thank you all so much for that. Her and her husband are getting a divorce. Who was I speaking about, dear Yvette? And then they're getting a divorce. We knew that about Remy and Pap. Who else was I talking? Oh my goodness. Are you saying Lisa Rinna and Harry Hamlin are getting a divorce? Don't talk about the husbands. Don't talk about the husband. That sends Lisa crazy. So she's really going to be a menace on this season of Traders. Oh, I can't wait to see it. Oh, okay. Lisa. Yeah. I can't wait to see this. She is going to be ready to rumble. She's always been like that. Thank you, Linda Gamble. Hit the like button and hype. Cynthia Christian, welcome in. Thank you so much for coming in, joining us during the live. I appreciate that. Thank you. Everybody, I don't have any real plans today. I wanted to come live because for some reason there's that crazy bye week that Bravo and Peacock does, and they don't have any showings of the Housewives or Married to Medicine. So I didn't get to go live yesterday, and I just wanted to do that just in case there's not much else that I can come up with. I may do a political discourse. There's, of course, a lot of stuff happening with that. The Kennedy Center, y'all, they canceling left and right. They canceled a whole season of Hamilton. Lin-Manuel Miranda was going to have Hamilton, which always sells out, is really popular. But now that the Orange Clown has put his stink name on it, nobody wants to go there. None of the artists want to go there. But my question is this. Artists can be, almost any political persuasion, but there seems to be one side that nobody really wants to go and hear their art. Because how many Kid Rock concerts can somebody listen to? Cece says, I hope Bravo isn't bringing Lisa Rinna back to place her back on Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. Not that I'm watching since Garcelle walked. Yeah, I'm still watching, but one of the reviews I put up, I filmed it while I was at sea and it didn't really upload, like a minute of it uploaded and it was a half-hour review. I didn't redo it. It was for episode 3. And then now they skipped this week. I think it's a soft launch, CC. I have to admit, I thought that when I saw Lisa Rinna, I said, Lisa Rinna on Traitors. She is a villain. She does fit on Traitors, but I think it is a soft launch to see if people would kind of feel nostalgic and have her back. But she was terrible. She was one of those Fox Force 5 that was freezing the other ladies out. We saw the way Garcelle was treated the whole time she was on there. Married to Medicine and Potomac is returning Sunday on Bravo. Yeah, they had a break this week, so they'll be back Sunday. I'll be at sea, so I'll go live Monday morning. But again, sometimes the package, and I get the premium package because I know I want to go live with ship tours and things like that. But I'll just have to have my notes just ready and just do that half hour and make sure that everything gets uploaded. I was going to drive up to DC to see Hamilton. I'm bummed. Yeah, CC, I can understand why he did it. I can understand why he canceled it, but I want to see that too. I have the soundtrack. I got the CD soundtrack when it first came out, and I watched it on whichever streaming service showed it, but I didn't get to see it on Broadway. It is something I do want to see. I wouldn't support the Kennedy Center as it stands now with the Orange Clown's name up there. That is a memorial, and it's a family memorial for that president. I don't see how somebody else could just come in, Orange Clown could just stick his stink name up there. Well, they said they kind of obliterated the board before that and then put his people on there. And then the one congressperson who was left, I cannot think of her name. I know who she is. It is a Black lady. The sister said they had her on mute. And she was trying to talk and she was on mute. I don't agree. I don't agree with the name change. This has to go through Congress. She was on mute. And the people were lying in real time going, yeah, we all approve. And actually, it's unanimous. And it wasn't unanimous. And she came out right after the fact in the news and was like, no, this is not true. Thank you so much, Linda. 13 likes, 8 in the chat. So we've had people come and gone, and I appreciate that. Thank you. I miss Garcelle, too. The show, honestly, it's a little boring. I think Bose is kind of relishing being the only one. But honestly, Cynthia, she has gotten on my doggone nerves. I don't like Bose. I don't want to dislike her, but I don't like the way she moved with Garcelle. I don't like the way that she let Erica Jane talk all that junk about Garcelle and then get on Watch What Happens live talking about, won't he do it? I don't like those type of Black women that want to be the only one and drag down others. If just because there's 2 Black women doesn't mean that they have to be close or they have to be an alliance or any of that, but don't throw her under the bus. And I feel like Bose did that. I feel like she likes being the only one. I don't like that. They had to bring on one other housewife because Nene didn't make it, but I hope this one will be good. Yeah, they said Brett had that situation with his heart. And she did say that. I knew at the time. Now she's going to do I think they said the ultimate girls trip. So we're going to see what's going on with that. I don't like her either. Yeah, I don't like her either. I'm trying not to dislike her, but Bose hasn't shown me enough yet. I don't like what's going on with her. Being the only one over there, you relishing the fact that this other sister just jumped up and quit. I didn't blame Garcelle for leaving. I miss her too, but I'm happy she had the wherewithal and the financial ability to quit. Now, the sad thing is when you can't walk away from a job, that's sad. So let's see, anything else going on in the Bravo verse or anything around that? I'm looking forward to, Linda has brought up Married to Medicine and Potomac is coming back Sunday. So I'm going to do those reviews Monday. I'm still packing. I should be done, but I'm not. So I'm still packing. And then I'll do my review live at sea. I'm going to do some ship reviews because I've never been on the breeze. Earlier, if you were not here, I am actually in a spa cabin. So I'm excited about that. I did the interior guarantee, which Carnival picks for you. It's kind of a gamble because some people, they just like to have a certain cabin or they choose their own location. But with me, I did the interior guarantee, got an excellent price, and they put me in a spa cabin on deck 10, which is Lido deck. It's near the spa, so I love it. Thierry Vet says, Bose, I don't care for her at all. She's annoying and desperate for a man. Yeah, I hope Keely doesn't take advantage of her. But David, I don't see that whole scenario going well. She's saying now that he's a businessman. I'm like, okay, like JC said, what is your businessman? What does he do? I don't know what he actually does. That's all she says. He's a businessman. And now they're in business together. And she's very successful. She is a top level executive for a few Fortune 500 companies. NBC Universal gave her a show, her and one of the comedians, I can't think of his name, but they have a business type show, almost like a Shark Tank type thing, but more of a mentoring type thing. I don't like the way she moves. Me either, Cynthia Christian. I don't like that because honestly, she could shine anyway. She didn't need Garcelle to be gone for her to shine. I didn't like that because when she first came on there, remember she invited Garcelle over for lunch and she was trying to get in Garcelle's head about what about this one, what about that one, and Garcelle was playing it cool, like, well, you should meet all the ladies for yourself, which is always the correct answer because Bose, she's also a run tell that type person. I know she's gonna run it back and still make Garcelle look bad. Sandra P. GenXtra, did you see P2P is hosting a cruise that people can join in late 2026? No, y'all, that is Poverty to Paradise, and she has a YouTube channel. She is one of the first ones I'm familiar with as far as how do you retire and live on a cruise ship. That's something that's always been in the back of my mind, either like slow travel or hotel living or something, because I'm already getting my real estate together where I could have a property manager and then have family living in one. Y'all, I'm really close to that. Today is my 55th birthday. I have a few more years where I'll be working with these people, and then honestly, I'm going to be up and out. Cece, I did not see that, but I would be very interested in that because she knows so many tricks, just being on so many different cruise ships. And the one thing I like is that a lot of times she's able to stay on one for like weeks and weeks and weeks at a time. Because the way she books her sailings, she'll be on, like she was on the Firenze. She got off maybe a week before I got on because I was looking forward to meeting her. And then she was doing something with her grandchildren out of Florida and went over to a Royal Caribbean ship. Jimmy Kimmel, it wasn't Jimmy, it was the other one. He used to do movies. He had a movie with Drew Barrymore about, was it 51st Kisses? It was something about a baseball game. The other one. He's really little. Jimmy Fallon. I'm sorry, I skipped that. A fake actor. She said Jimmy Fallon. Oh, David, that's who it was, Jimmy Fallon. So Bose has a show kind of like that. Sandra P. does police be on the ship? Cynthia Christian, the police version on that ship is it's security. I don't see them as armed because I think they wouldn't want to have access to weapons on the ship, but they have full authority over the ship. The second we're at sea, and I've been at sea almost 200 days. I'm not, no, but probably maybe more than 200 days because I haven't only cruised Carnival. Carnival's, that's how I keep track of it in my mind. Carnival's tiers are when you're platinum, once you get to 200 days at sea, they have a diamond tier and they get all these perks. I've been platinum for a while. So my sister and myself, other people in my family, but the police at sea, no, it's security, but they have full authority. The captain is in charge of that ship. A lot of these people that are on land thinking that they're in charge, they're not. As soon as you set sail, the captain's in charge of the ship. So it's like his own little city, and security can put hands on people, hands and feet. I've seen them do it. I've seen people confined to their cabin where they can lock people in their cabin. And y'all, they have a jail on the ship. Yes, they do. Down where they have the medical center, where they have the cruise quarters, they also have a little jail. So yeah, they are, people talk about the fights and stuff that they have. And when they're filming and it looks like it's going crazy, I've never been in the midst of anything like that. The worst thing we saw, and it was years ago, a man and his girlfriend were arguing, and then he all of a sudden hauled off and slapped her, and a couple of other men jumped in and started tuning him up, and security got involved and broke everything up and confined everybody to their room, and ended up, the lady was on our floor. We saw the security helping her move to another cabin. So that is a trip. Thank you so much for telling me today is my birthday, and happy birthday, Sandra P. from Elisa Triblet. Thank you. Yes, that's good. Yeah, because I trust security more than I would the police. Yeah, they do have very good security. It doesn't take long to break things up. and you'll see them dispersed throughout the ship. They're usually all in black. Honestly, an equal contingent of men and women, and they don't play around. You'll see them just standing there looking over the banisters. They have their walkie-talkies, and there are videos in all areas of that ship. So I feel safe at sea. I've traveled alone. I travel with family. I travel with friends. I've never felt like fearful or anything like that. Lorcy Jones, thank you for coming in during the live. It's good to see you. Hello. Thank you so much, Cynthia, telling me happy birthday. I appreciate that. Thank you. So those of you that will be here with the channel ongoing, I appreciate it. I have new subscribers. As I said, when I went to Winter Wonderland, I was able to gain quite a few new ones. So welcome to you all. But a lot of the things that I will do, of course, even more in 2026, is my travel series. Sandra P is free to move about the cabin. Cece just told me about one of the people I love to watch, Poverty to Paradise. So she's hosting a cruise. I'm looking forward to that. Going to look into pricing and everything. The one I'm leaving with Saturday, Queen Sheba has put that one together. So I'm looking forward to that. And then, of course, I'll still travel on my own, do different things that I do, and review and recap my shows. So we're coming back Monday after I've watched Married to Medicine and also Real Housewives of Potomac. We have Traders starting on Peacock in January. So we will be here to review and discuss that. I'm looking forward to that. Sharon, thank you so much. Sandra P, enjoy your birthday. Have a wonderful time on the cruise and see ya. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. Cece is telling everyone, please like the live and subscribe. And y'all, I think we're at a good, even place. Tell Queen Sheba we said hi. You know I will. I absolutely will do that. What is the name of that channel? It's called Poverty to Paradise. I'm sorry I don't have the link up, but that is her name. Poverty to Paradise. Her name is actually Linnell, and then you will see her. She is a Black woman. She wears glasses as well. But when you put in Poverty to Paradise or cruise, anything like that, her channel should pop right up. So it's really interesting because she does a lot of ship tours, and then she also talks a lot about ship life, which I love. So this is a good place to end, everyone. And if you didn't join me from the beginning, go back in and be Team Replay. Click the like button and subscribe if you have not already. I'm going to leave Sharon Gobbles up because she's saying, see ya. Thank you, Linda, so much. 15 likes and 10 in the chat. And Cece is telling everyone, have a blessed day, everyone. Oh, that was the wrong one I highlighted. Have a blessed day, everyone. Thank you. Thank you so much. Hi, Linnell Seiler. Thank you so much for coming in during the live. Again, we were almost ending, but if you're going to be Team Replay, I appreciate that. I always love Team Replay. And I want to leave Sharon's comment up. Enjoy your birthday and have a wonderful time on the cruise. See ya, everybody. I will see you in the YouTube streets and then actually in the actual streets because I'm leaving Saturday morning and I'll be at sea by late that afternoon. Goodbye, everybody.